pause it, go get a notebook. We need to write down all of these 13 steps and make sure that we're using it. I've done the A to Z process. So you've probably seen the A to Z deal process, and it's a little bit different than what I'm going to explain today. This goes into a little bit more depth. That was more of like what the deal process is. These are the different steps that need to be in every single deal, every single time, and what order that they need to be in, okay? So let's go ahead and start with the road to the close. The road to the close, obviously, that's the end game. That's where we want to be. The 13 steps, we've got to follow every single one of them, and the first one is going to be attitude. We've got to have a great attitude. We've got to have that charisma and confidence and that just that spark in every single deal. You've got to make sure that that customer knows that they're the only one. They feel special. They feel important. They feel like they're getting the best deal out of this scenario on every single deal. So our attitude is massive. It's number one. Not getting the deal is number one. The attitude before we even get the deal. So not even when you have the deal, the attitude in the office, right when you walk through those doors at work. What does your attitude look like? What does it look like when a salesperson brings you the 5th cash deal? What does it look like at that point? Are you yelling at them? Are you telling them that they suck? Are you telling them that, gosh, I wish you would go get in a different industry? Are we getting down on ourselves because it's the 3rd, 4th subprime deal that we can't sell a VSC on? We can only use GAAP, and we've tried all these different lenders and nothing's working for us? Like, that's the type of mentality on the attitude. Where's our attitude at? Are we upset because we've got 3 red X's, 1 green check, and it's closed at buy rate when it should have been maximized completely before it got to your deal or to your desk? What does it look like for us? What is our attitude? Step 1, write this down. Attitude, what does that look like? Our second step is meet and greet. You guys have heard me say this. Instead of an interview, let's do a meet and greet. Let's do a simple shake of the hand, ask some questions for the salesperson first of all. Let's say, hey, instead of the numbers or how hard was the deal or what was the customer like I'm asking, do they like family vacations? Do they have extended family where they have to travel a lot? Do they have pets? Do they like to take time out of their day and go help somebody, help the homeless? I want to learn about them, their family. Do they go to Disney every year? Are they going to be on the road a lot? Are they going to be off-roading? Those type of meet and greet questions going to help you set up success for those type of products. But I don't want to, how many miles are you going to be driving a year? There's other ways that you can get around that. So yes, ask your salesperson that, but also when you're talking with these customers real quick, do they have pets? Do they I could not put that on there. Look at that dog, man. That's amazing. I'm a dog guy if you can't tell. But those type of meet and greet, that's the meet and greet that I'm looking for. You've got to introduce yourself to the customer, shake their hand firmly, look them in the eye, smile, have the right attitude, and meet and greet. Every deal, every day, no exceptions. And I don't understand why this is so hard sometimes for us. I'm speaking for myself too because I was in your seat, and I get it. It's hard to be 100% or 800% all of the time, but we have to. We have to pitch that perfect game every game, if you know what I mean. And doing that, we have to do it every single deal. We have to make sure to get up out of our seat and meet and greet the customer. And I know some of you saying, oh, I do my interviews or I do my meet and greets. Well, I hear otherwise from your owners, from your GMs, from other people that are in your finance office. And maybe I haven't heard it from them. Maybe you've told me that you've done it every time, but can you truly look at yourself and say, hey, I do this every single time. I do this crucial number 2 part of road to the close. I do this every single time. I do a meet and greet. Step number 3, fact finding. Fact finding. This comes back kind of to the meet and greet. It's going to come to the sense of, hey, do they off-road? Do they have a family and like to travel? Do they...
What up? What up? What up? What up? Can everybody hear me? Duncan, Simon, you're the ones who I can see. Gary, good deal. Perfect. Well, today we're going to be talking, if you haven't already seen or you weren't in the meeting just a minute ago, we were talking about processes, talking about how can we make a bulletproof process, a process to where it doesn't matter if we're used to doing 5 deals a day, 5 deals a week, and we get 15 deals in a day or 20 deals in a day or whatever it might be. It's going to be able to hold it regardless of how little or how much deals that we do throughout the day, throughout the month, throughout the year. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to break it up into 3 different sessions. So we're not going to go over the entire 13 steps or the 13 must-dos today, but we're going to talk about a few of them. I'm going to list them off for you. So if you don't have them, they're in your planner. Okay, they're like the 4th page in your planner. It's called Road to the Close, the 13 must-do steps, and I'm going to list them out for you real fast. So the first one, what's the first one, Simon? What's number 1? Number 1 is attitude. Number 2 is meet and greet. Number 3, fact-finding or report building. Number 4 is selection. Are we selecting the banks? What banks are we selecting? Why are we selecting them? Same with products. We're selecting the products, but why are we selecting the products? Number 5 is first menu or the presentation demo. So we got to show the full menu, full products, full spread, every deal, every day, every line, every time. We know how that goes. And number 6 is objection handling. And I'm going to put /value building. We got to be able to build the value so that way we don't have to overcome the objections. But if they do arise, then obviously we're going to answer them as quickly as possible. And we're going to give that customer a clear answer. Next is going to be relieve pressure. So this is a big part of what we do in the process, relieving the pressure of a deal. Simon, what does that do when we relieve the pressure on a deal? What is that supposed to do moving forward?
And like, what do you mean relieve pressure?
Like relieve the pressure from the customer once we've already overcome some of the objections or been battling the objections, and now it's time to kind of relieve the pressure or drop the tension. What's the purpose of that?
Once you get the yes, you go in and start having different conversation, get away from the menu, have an easier conversation, relieve the pressure, as you would say,
Yep.
and then come back to the accept decline form a little bit later.
Yep.
Yeah, which is step 8.
Yeah, it just gives you a human element so that we're not just sell, sell, sell. A lot of the times we can get caught up in the sale and closing the deal, and sometimes we need to just drop back, drop the tension, make sure that, hey, they understand that we're a human as well, and we're going to make sure to give them the best deal possible in all aspects. The next one, number 8, is accept and decline form, the accept decline form. So making sure that we're using the final acceptance every single deal, every time. We're pulling over small bundled products instead of just saying, hey, Mr. Customer, you accept these and you've declined these. We need to use it in a way that we're able to pull some of those products over. Duncan and Gary, and what's one of those ways, like one of the best lines that we use, so to speak, when we present that final acceptance? What's a way that we present that?
Oh, yeah, me? Okay. So I would always kind of bring it up as, hey, I know we've already touched base on this stuff here already, depending on where you are in the situation. But one thing I'll do is I'll bundle them together on the accept decline and say, hey, I already know we accepted the warranty, we accept the maintenance, but you decided against the tire guard, the appearance guard. What I've done for you today is I really want to make sure that you're comfortable with this and it's something that you see value in. So what I've done is I've bundled these two together for X amount so that you can have all the coverage and make sure that you're fully protected.
Yep. I love it. I love it. So one of the ways that I've figured out over time was to apologize to the customer, because once they apologize, they feel like, that gift of reciprocity. They feel like if you give them something, or you feel like they feel like they did something wrong, they need to make it right. So first I'm going to say, hey, Gary, first I want to apologize. Maybe I went over it a little faster. I skipped some value points, but it's definitely valuable, and I don't want you to miss out on some of the protection options that we have in front of you today. So let's figure out a creative way that we can pull some of these declined coverages over to accepted so that we narrow that window of what ifs, and I make it feasible not only in your budget, but so that you're fully protected if anything was to happen. That's the way I introduce every single accept decline form, or whatever you all call it, every single time. I see EC Finance. Good to see you today. I don't remember. Are you with Kurt and East Coast? Perfect. Are you on the Honda or Volkswagen side?
I work both sides, to be honest.
Both sides? Beautiful. And your first name again? Patrick, good to see you, Patrick. Sorry it's been a long week with the Sabbath off, but I appreciate you for being here, and it's good to see you as always. Now, with you all, do you all use the accept decline form as a selling tool instead of just presenting, hey, you've declined, you've accepted?
Yeah. I get a lot of +1s off the accept decline, and usually I'll use I know we've accepted all of these. If I can make a recommendation, this one will usually complete your coverage, just so you don't have to worry about XYZ, whatever that may be.
Yep. I love it. I love it. So we've got relieve pressure, accept decline. The 9th one would be second menu presentation. Repetition equals conversion. I would write that down. Repetition equals conversion. So think of it as when you go to work out, would you just do the most weight that you could possibly do one time, or would you kind of space it out to where you're doing a third of that weight, but you're doing multiple reps multiple times over a course of days, weeks, years? So reps equal conversion. That's why we go for the 3-peat. That's why we go menu, accept decline, and then we hit the menu again before we wrap it all up. So the second presentation is going back a little lightly. You're expected 20 to 25% conversion rate on an $8 to $15 bump, but again, it adds up. $300 to $400 a deal over a long period of time. It's a lot of dough in the bank. Number 10 is the close. Lock it in. Got to finish strong, and we can't second guess ourselves. Be as confident as you can, and make sure that we're asking for the business. We went over the DEAL acronym. I think it was last week or the week before, and one of them was the A in DEAL is ask for the business. I think sometimes we get to the point where the customer would say yes, or we could figure out what would get them to the yes, but we just simply don't ask for the business. So make sure that we close the deal and lock it in. It's one thing to get it 99%, but to get it that extra 1% and close the deal, it makes a world of a difference. Number 11, ensure an 800% experience. What does that mean to you, Duncan? What does ensure an 800% experience mean to you?
That to me makes sure that the customer leaves smiling, happy, had a good experience every single time. Doesn't matter if they bought product or not. There's always potential. They're going to come back for a deal in the future. You don't want to ruin or have bad blood or burn any bridges because they didn't, things didn't go well in your office. So.
Yes, sir. Amen to that. I can't tell you how many times, and I'm a ginger, so I get red. So if I get mad or if I get some type of emotion, I get red. And every time, yeah, Simon knows. But when we get that, man, sometimes the customer, they feel that. They see that. They're like, dude, why is this guy so pissed off at me? I just can't afford the coverage. I didn't want it, whatever the case may be. So making sure to ensure the experience is unique and it's at an 800% level every single deal, every customer, no matter the scenario. I love that, Duncan. That was a great point. Number 12 is transparent, clear, and convenient. Explain the deal like they were family is what I say. So making sure that they understand all of the terms, the rate, they understand the products that we offer, they understand the deal as an entire package, and making sure that just because they said yes to something, how many times have we had this, just because they said yes to something and that you've shown them and you've discussed it and you've went through every line, sometimes they'll call you back 3 days later and say, what is this? They blank out. They say, okay, yeah, I'm good with it. They sign up, and then they get home and they have kind of, we'll call it buyer's remorse. It's not that necessarily, but they have this buyer's remorse on, man, maybe I didn't really need that coverage. Or yeah, it sounded great then, but there's some questions that I just wasn't able to ask because it was a quick interaction. It was a quick exchange. So making sure that we're there to understand the customer and also give the education and being transparent with all of our verbiage, slow it down. That was the thing with me sometimes, is like when I was going through these deals, it was repetitious and I would get fast and I would skip things and not even realizing it. And this is where recording my deals came into play, because I would get to a point where I'm like, man, I'm doing, I don't know, 100 or so deals every 2 weeks. And I'm like, I have to keep track of it. I have to know, why am I missing certain opportunities? Why is my ceramic coating falling off? Why is my reserve going up, but my products per deal are going down? And what I found out was that maybe I was going a little quick, that I was skipping over things that I didn't think were necessary or that I didn't think were super important because I already knew them. But to the customer, it might have been massive. It might have been a make or break within the deal. So making sure that we're slowing it down, we're really giving that customer the attention they need, we're being transparent, we're being clear, and we're obviously being convenient. We're using their time to the best of our ability, and we're being as convenient. Like, hey, Simon, real quick, how long should a deal take? Well, we'll go to Patrick real fast. Simon's a little bit different. Patrick, how long should a deal take from start to finish? From I have the folder in my, like a normal deal, I know there's all these scenarios. A normal deal, you get it in your office, it's a 700 score, wide open, go to any lender, buying a new car. What's the time limit on that?
We usually run about 45 minutes.
4 to 5 minutes or
45. 45.
Okay. So in my head, the max amount of time that it should take a deal is like 18 minutes. That's like max. From where I have the folder, I decide on the bank, I build the menu, fact find, report, build with the customer. I get them in my office. I do all my presentations. I sign all my paperwork, give them the copies, and they're taking a picture with me as they leave. That's no more than 18 minutes. Now, hey, you get people that talk a lot. You get people that read over every document. You've got to go over some different closes. I'm saying it goes perfectly smooth. Here it is. I overcome some objections. I do my 3P. I lock in some product, and I send them on their way. I'm saying 15 to 18 minutes. That's how we need to think about structuring out our process for our deals. Not that it is going to be that every way, but in a a blueprint or a picture perfect world, that's what it would be. And I've done it multiple times, so I know it's possible. The last one is follow up. This one, hardly any finance manager, I won't say none, but hardly any finance managers do this. And this is one of the most important because past customers are future money. How many of you, show of hands real quick that are on the cameras, how many of you think that it's easier to sell a customer that's already bought product than a customer that you've never seen before? What do you think, Patrick? You think it might be a little, yeah, Andre, Duncan, yep, Simon. It's a little bit easier. If a customer is they already know you, they trust you, they trust you with their financing already, you've already gave them a pitch and they understand the protection, it's a lot easier to just say, hey man, I structured it out this way. Oh, and by the way, I was able to add tire and wheel. You remember the road hazard we talked about last time? We weren't able to include it in the loan, or it was just a little bit over your budget. I was able to finagle some things and make it creative financing to where you're able to be a little bit more protected around the same type of budget. Like, that's the type of things that we need to do with our customers that we've already had, because past customers are future money. Follow up, create fans. Duncan, what's one way that we could put this into use? Follow up and creating fans. After that customer's left our office, how do we keep track of it, one? And then what's a unique way that we could follow up with them?
How we keep track of it is we attach ourselves to the deal. For us, it's Drive Centric, and then that just automatically inputs tasks for up to follow up every, 6, 12, 18 months, whatever. And a unique way to do it is the videos, man. I've had a lot of people, for me at least, come back and say that they love the videos. I had a couple last week that I closed warranty with. But even just a video that's personalized, make them feel like it's dedicated, especially to them, to where you can just put a smile on their face, say, hey, I hope you're doing well. It's been 6 months. Hope you're still loving the car like it's day one, yada, 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 and chat from there. But that works for me, for sure.
I love that. Yeah, being attached in your CRM. How many times could we have done that and we didn't do it? Or it's something that we think about but we actually don't execute on. Is we need to be involved in the deals, because at the end of the day, you're the backstop. You're the one that they're going to go to at this point forward. When that customer, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when that customer leaves your office, you are now responsible for them for the rest of eternity. It's not like, oh, they left your office, they signed the contract, and now you never have to talk to them again, like the sales manager. And I'm just picking on them because I'm a finance guy at heart. But let's just say they do the deal, they get it approved, they get the deal, we'll say, sold, and then they give it to you. And typically they don't have to deal with it. But we as finance people, we're stuck with it forever. If you sell product, you're stuck with it until the product runs out, and then you try to sell them again. So you're literally stuck with that customer, or you're bonded with that customer is a better word, forever, for as long as they're in your customer base. That's the mentality that we should have. So creating a follow-up plan through your CRM, that's strong, man. Duncan, not a lot of people do that. And all you have to do is tag yourself. And I know it's another thing that we have to keep up with and do, but it's not that complex. And just imagine you have 10, you get it to a point where you've got 10 a month off the books where you're making over $500 on a VSE, because it's time runs out. Like the 3 or 36 that you sold them 2.5 years ago, they might still have the car and they might still want to be covered, but they don't know where to go. So maybe they say, well, I'll just go trade it in somewhere else at XYZ down the road, instead of you calling them saying, hey, looks like you're about to be out of your coverage. Just wanted to let you know we've got some competitive options right now to take it out another 3 years, 36,000 miles. So that way you can keep things rolling. Unique ways to have follow-up and to stay in tune with the customer. It's awesome. It's massive. And I promise you'll see big results. So that's the 13 in a quick go about. And today, if you're able, I know it's Memorial Day and you got a lot of things going on, but Foundation Week 9, it's Foundation Week 9, 13 steps, road to the close. I want you guys to watch that. Even if you've already watched it, watch it again and see where the holes of your process are. See how we might be able to tweak a certain number of things. Okay? So Week 9 Foundation, even if you're on Week 9 or not, go to Week 9 Foundation and check that out. All right, the last thing, we're going to wrap it up in the last 10 minutes. I'm going to go over the first 4 in depth a little bit. So the first one's attitude. Andre, I know you're driving real quick. Are you able to unmute real fast? Andre, what's the importance of having attitude as number 1? I could put a lot of things as number 1, but why did I put attitude as number 1?
I mean, if you go into with the bad attitude, or you take, your salesman standard, oh, they're not going to buy anything, well, then you're already defeated even going into the deal. And whether you realize it or not, you'll present that product different, and it's just a different
Yep.
They do go in, positive and like you said, giving the 800% experience to that customer.
Yep. Attitude is everything. If your mind isn't right, your numbers won't be either. Write that down. Think about that. It's a short line, but it's a big impact. If your mind isn't right, your numbers won't be either. And it's real, man. I can't tell you how many times where my attitude or my mind was somewhere else. And after the deal, I'm like, damn, I hit 2,500 and I did well, but I could have done 5,000. Like the opportunity was right in front of me. If I was in the zone, if I had a great attitude, I guarantee you I could have got at least another couple grand. Like if your mind isn't right, your numbers aren't going to be either. And this also starts, well, we're going to step outside of the deal and talk about attitude as a whole. The morning five, like, are we doing the morning five? Are we starting our morning and starting our day with the right attitude? And that means, are we in a positive mindset? Are we actually exercising our body? Are we making sure to take time for ourselves? Are we writing down what our targets and goals might be moving forward throughout the day? Just keep that in mind. Attitude flows into a lot of different areas. Number 2 is meet and greet. So Patrick, I don't know if you've got to this point of the training yet, but real quick, what would you think that a meet and greet would be? And it's number 2 on the road to close. Go ahead.
So, I mean, typically just sitting with a customer, confirming everything, making sure, I always like to keep them kind of at ease. Yep. Because if they start to escalate before, I mean, we can even have a conversation, then, it's gonna create problems down the road. So yep. I would like to keep that nice, easy level mentality. And I just got done running one. So I think it worked out really well.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, we say meet and greet instead of like an interview, the old school way of an F&I interview, like the how many miles are you driving a year? Are you going to keep the same habits as a trade-in? The list of questions. I kind of put those aside. I think those are kind of people throw up a wall. Like if somebody randomly asks me those type of questions, I'm like, this guy's trying to sell already. And he doesn't even know what I'm buying, what my name is, what kind of terms, if I've agreed or not. So what I've decided to do over the last 4 years is come up with a meet and greet. And I did this on every deal, but you took the title application and you took the sales agreement, which some people it's a 4-square, 9-square matrix, whatever you take to your salespeople takes out to the customer. You take those forms. 1, you take the title application because we need to verify the information. I'm trying to eradicate or eliminate all the negative things that might happen in my office. I want only positive things. One negative thing, and Patrick, you tell me if I'm wrong, but one negative thing would be if they didn't input the co-buyer, or the first name spelled wrong, or really they wanted the middle initial and they told 4 people, but it came to us and I went ahead and printed the paperwork, and now we're on the contract and I say, oh shit, you wanted a G in the middle initial and now I have to reprint all of your paperwork. Like anytime I can eliminate the negative moments of time out of my office, that's what I want to do in the meet and greet. So I'm taking the title app to verify, 1, they're the only one on the title. They don't want to add anybody. 2, all the information is correct. Name, social, middle initial or not, apartment numbers, unit numbers, whatever it might be. Some of the addresses, have apartment numbers or different things that they add on towards the end. And those are very important, especially to get the mail. So I'm verifying all of that information. And then I take the sales agreement because that tells me where my foundational start is. And what I do is I just put it in front of the customer and I say, hey, Patrick, I just wanted to congratulate you on your brand new Honda Pilot. I love that color, man, with the 22-inch wheels. I also wanted to let you know that we're at the 72 months at $10,000 down, and you're going to be at $897 a month. And just stop there. And that way that customer has a chance to say, wait, Patrick, the sales guy just told me just to sign these papers to get back here to you, and you were going to help me out, try to get to that $800 a month. How many times we had that? Or they're going to say, hey, Patrick, yeah, everything sounds great, looks good, and go ahead and sign it, and then I'll see you in the office. Or they're going to say, and this is a time where you can also eliminate a negative time in your office, would be a down payment. So like say they have 10 grand down. You say, perfect, I see that you have 10,000 down. Are you just going to do a check, a cash, card? How are you going to make the payment today? Well, I was going to do a card. Hey, no problem. We could take card. There is a fee up to 3,000, whatever your all's policies are. That's when you can introduce the fee instead of at the end of the deal, you're taking the down payment. They give you a card and you're like, shit, I gotta charge them a fee. Then you bring it up and now they're mad right before they leave your office. So anytime, just think of that meet and greet. Anytime we can do verify information like the name, the address, any information going on the title. We can verify if they're actually closed or if they have questions about numbers, then let's go ahead and bring it up there so I know how to be prepared. How many times have you got a deal, you structure it out like it's going to be a freaking, we used to call them mommies. That was like our 5,000 plus deal. If they're going to be a mommy deal, and then they get in your office, they're like, dude, I wanted to go 36 months with 10,000 down instead of 72 with 0. Like, I want to see my different options. That way you can prep. You can always be prepared. So that's the meet and greet in a nutshell. And again, week 9, it'll tell you a little bit more about that on the foundational, and I'll walk through it. We're going to move to number 3. Number 3 is fact finding or report building. So let's see here. Let's go to Andre. Andre, real fast. I know you're walking through stores. Andre, maybe you can't get Simon. Fact finding, report building. What's one easy way that we can do fact finding or report building with the customer before we've actually even brought them in the office?
You train the salespeople to do a 2-minute drill with you.
That's strong. Train the salespeople. Make sure that they understand the questions that would help benefit you in the office. I like that. Patrick, what about you? What's one way that you think we could fact find or report building without actually shaking hands with the customer yet?
I mean, we typically will do a quick debrief. I'll kind of just go through, make sure I have, number one, everything I need. Kind of similar though, we do it. I try to do it with the salespeople as much as possible. Sometimes I'll touch the desk too, just to make sure, like, hey, is there anything I need to know about this one? Just because if I'm going into a hornet's nest, I want to know I'm going into a hornet's nest before I,
Yep.
put my finger in there. You know what I mean?
Yep. I agree. One thing that we overlook, I think, a lot as finance people is utilizing social media. So literally pulling up, and I had 2 screens. One screen was all my tabs that I would use for that deal, and the other screen would whatever else I was working on. And I would have all my like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, any social media accounts that were relevant, and I would type in their name really fast. And I'd type in the first and last name, and I'd go through. I mean, Facebook will tell you a lot about a person. Facebook will tell you a lot. It'll tell you if they have pets. It'll tell you if they like to travel. It'll tell you if they preach their business to the rest of the world. It'll tell you what they're interested in and they'll tell you what political values sometimes, just depending on that person. Not saying that you have to bring these things up, but you're noted. You have them in the back of your head, and you have them for ammunition if you need to find something to relate to that customer. So making sure that we're searching them on social media, and I would even, some people think I'm crazy, I would even Zillow their house, see what area that they lived in, see how nice the house was, see any little things, inside tips that we can get in the first 2 to 3 minutes could help us overcome and actually lock in some product on the back end. Another thing, you need to have the car that they're actually purchasing up on your screen so that they can see it. Like I know all the finance managers that would hide their screen and stuff. We need to have it on a screen where they could see it. So if it's on the second one, on the side, whatever it might be, have it posted the whole time that they're in the office. So when they see it or they look over, they're like, oh shit, is that my car? Yeah, it is actually. Let's look through the pictures. Start clicking through the pictures. It'll show what options it has, what model it is, how many mileage, what kind of wheels it's got, and point out the things that are nice about the car that you're going to mention here in a minute once you do the first presentation. I started doing this when a customer, I went out for a meet and greet, and I said, hey, Tom, thank you so much. I love the high country, man. I love that color. And he goes, oh, yeah. He said, what color is it? I'm like, shit, I don't know. I didn't know. I put myself in a corner, and I had no idea. And I lost trust and respect right away because I already lied to the guy. I already said, I love your color. And I said it was white, or it's the white one, right? No, actually, it's black. And then he completely didn't listen to the thing that I had to say during my presentation. And he might have wanted some things, but he just didn't trust me at that point. So I started pulling the actual customer car up so that I had ammunition on the car that they're actually buying. I knew what they were about to purchase, and made the experience a little bit more intimate than just doing another deal. Like I could actually talk about the car that they were purchasing. So fact finding, report building. Number 4, and the last one we're talking about is selection. So selection is not just the bank, like what bank am I going to select, but also what type of menu am I going to present? How many products am I going to put on? Am I going to put more emphasis on X product than Y product? I'm going to have all of my documents ready. So selection and printing all of the docs. Is it an e-sign? Is it a DocuSign? Is it an actual customer in my office? Like getting everything selected and printed out correctly. So Patrick, real quick, what is a selection that you do on a day-to-day basis or on a deal-to-deal basis? What's a selection that you can think of?
So I'll sometimes do like a 2 versus a 4 column.
Okay.
So if I'm real limited on the back end, I had a lot of those on Saturday. So
Yep.
I was going more to a 2 column just because, if I can include gap for the customer, here's your options that the bank has allowed us to do if you want to do anything extra. You're more than welcome to do those.
Yep.
That would just take a little bit more money down, or XYZ would be where we're at.
Yep. I like that. And then navigating lenders on the fly. So, and I know Honda, typically most of my Honda dealers, they like to send a lot of deals to Honda. I'm sure you guys are like that. But if we have a scenario where we're able to navigate lenders on the fly, and what I mean by that is, say you have a Huntington deal, you're going to send it to Huntington, or it could also go to a credit union, but the reserve is 2.5% at the credit union, 5% at Huntington, but the open back end is more at the credit union than it is Huntington. I'm just using a fictitious example so that you get an idea. But knowing when to switch banks, when to leverage certain deals. Like I would always say to a customer, hey, look, I'm going to get you the best deal possible, and I'm going to make sure that you're fully protected. You have the best rate, you have the best terms, but it's up to you. Like if you tell me you want to go a different route or a different term or with one product, without another product, I'm going to strategically battle these lenders together to make sure that we get you the best deal and get you the right lender to go with. But always having that mentality of, if they tell me no, I go here. If they tell me yes, I'm going to continue here. And I would even print the papers. Like, let's just say that they told me yes to everything and I didn't prepare for it and I'm not able to fit it in for the Huntington call. I got to switch to the credit union. I'm automatically printing out paperwork for the credit union before I even tell the customer. And when I slide that paper in front of the customer, I'm saying, look, I've worked this out a couple different ways. It's called creative financing. I'm able to go with the credit union instead of Huntington. Your rates are similar, but we're able to have the full protection instead of just some of it. So that way you don't have to come out of pocket. We're able to include it into the loan and then flow into the paperwork. People don't care as much as what we think. Okay? So those are the first 4. We've got our marching orders. As far as week 9 on the foundation, watch the 13 steps and make a post in the app about which step you're going to focus on moving forward to wrap up May. So after you watch it, which one are you going to focus on in May? And you're going to push forward, and we're going to make sure to build on it. This is a process. I know we're going over it fast, but the 13 steps could take a while. Like, I don't want it to be overnight. I want to make sure that we dive into each item and we can tweak as we need to. And then when we're done, it's a bulletproof process where we could do 150 deals a month if we needed to. So I won't keep you guys any longer. I appreciate you. Rock it out today. I know it's Memorial Day, so I appreciate you all for being on. And if you need anything, please let me know. See you all.